yourself. Top of the morning to you. It's a beautiful day here on a Tuesday. I've got a couple of predictions on the hobby we're going to share today. Shoot a basket, win a prize. And here it is. Look at this monstrosity. That is Whatnot. Good Lord. What the hell? But how's everybody doing? Man, it's been a year, 2025, a lot of wild roller coaster type things going on, whether it's in the hobby or in life. Lots of things happening out in the world where you're just like, man, what's 2026 going to bring? It's going to be really interesting. I'm excited for spooky season. It's October, it's Halloween month, and we've got Welcome to Derry, the It prequel is coming up on HBO. I'm excited to watch this with my daughter. And then we've got Stranger Things coming this holiday season. There's a bunch of scary movies I've got coming up that I'm really pumped about. It's going to be fun. The next few months are going to be fun from an entertainment standpoint, movies, shows, and different things I'm looking forward to with my kids. But last, we dive into sports card news and just some overall thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on this too. I want to hear kind of where you're thinking this thing is going to go. Before we dive in, don't forget to use the SCD25 code at PSA for first-time submitters, $25 off that first order, just a one-card minimum to try out PSA SCD25 code. Save some money over there at PSA. JustCollect.com, you got a collection to sell. I've got a link to my Just Collect landing page to help you out, vintage, modern, buy collections of all different kinds. The link is down in the video description in the pinned comments with a lot of other hobby discounts there, promo codes to use to save you money. All right, so we all heard that Whatnot released a statement on their website. November 3rd is the date. November 3rd is when everything gets cleaned up over there on Whatnot. Well, we shouldn't say everything, but basically they're really cracking down on a lot of the ultra gamification. I'll just say it like that. Really kind of gaming out packs, products, cards, to the nth degree with all sorts of different, golden tickets and win this or give away that or all these different things. Kind of the Wild West as what we've seen. And now something happened. Something happened on the back end here because I just don't believe that Whatnot decided to do this out of the goodness of their hearts for the hobby. I think that they had pressure put on them, whether that's by government agencies or whatever, consumers complaining. I don't know what happened, but I just believe, I don't have any proof of it, it's just an opinion, that they had some pressure on the back end and we're thinking like, you know what? We need to do something about this. And folks have speculated on what's going to happen as far as repackers and all this sort of stuff. I just really think, I've been saying this for a while now, whether it's breakers or repack companies, I just think there's going to be huge consolidation in this space over the next couple of years. It's just an opinion. Maybe it'll continue to flourish where a lot of folks can just kind of get in on the ground floor and build up a business. I'm not saying it's impossible, but to me, it just looks like there is some self-regulation that's going on here now where companies are really making moves to clean this up, whether it's with full-blown checklists showing you what cards are available, what are the hits, really being as transparent as possible. There's been a move to transparency. We've seen that. We've seen this on the repack side where PSA is assisting here to basically kind of give the PSA check that, okay, this is a good repack. Maybe other companies will start doing this as well. So it looks to be that there is some self-regulation going on in the space with companies, larger companies that are just saying, you know what? I want to make sure that we're complying and trying to get ahead of problems moving forward. Because when you look at a lot of this stuff, Razzes are a perfect example of this. I remember going back years ago, I would see Razzes during the pandemic, 2020 and 2021, a Razz would pop up in like Facebook groups every single day. And basically what it was is like, okay, I've got a $200 card here. We've got 10 people that sign up at $30, let's say. And basically it's like, I need 10 people to sign up at $30 each. You put in $30 and one of you will get the $200 card. So the person basically takes in $300 and then sends out a $200 card. These sorts of things are problematic. Now, I guess you could say like, oh, you know what? I just put $30 in and I have a chance to win a $200 card. So again, it's another way to gamble, on cards. And it was these Razzes and you'd see them pop up all over the place. I haven't been paying as close attention, whether it be Facebook groups or on streaming sites to see if this still goes on, the Razz thing. But essentially that's a lot like what a lot of, the card hobby has come to. All right, we've got the gambling hall. Wax pack, swag bag, jackpot, Whatnot's got all the strings.
We gotta talk to AT&T.
the sales that are out. A lot of people have agreed with me. I see it all over the place, whether it is in Facebook groups or on Reddit posts or in YouTube videos, that there has been too much the other way, where this hobby has been so focused on the gambling element. Everything is a gamble. Everything is a roll of the dice. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, what's happening? What's happening? Oh! Let's go! Byron Buxton, PSA now. I mean, to me, it's like if you're throwing $30 into a bucket and, you know, they're going to spin a wheel, and if you win, then you get a $200 or $250 card, let's just say. How is it much different than just going and, you know, just rolling the dice, rolling the dice at the casino or the roulette table or whatever, let's put it all on black or put it all on red or whatever. I mean, there's not much of a difference in my mind. Sports betting is kind of similar too. Pick these players, throw your money in a pot. Sports betting is similar in this way, where it's like, okay, you set your lineup, you're picking your players for the week, you throw in $20 into a pot, you could win $2,000, let's say. But that stuff is regulated. Sports betting is regulated. And so what I don't think is going to happen is breakers and repack companies are going to go away. No, I don't think it's going to happen that way. But what's going to happen over the next couple of years, I think it's just clear that standards are going to be higher. I think it's clear that if you're going to operate on a streaming platform, which a lot of folks do, now a lot of people can just do it on YouTube. They've got a big enough YouTube presence to where they can do it on their own. But I would say the majority of these folks are on Whatnot, they're on Fanatics Live, they're on some sort of a live streaming app they're using as a platform to sell. And I just think that all of that stuff, it's going to get completely cleaned out. A lot of the sellers, a lot of the folks that are doing this are going to get wiped out. The folks that are going to be left are ones that have figured out how to kind of adapt and comply, or they're just a part of a larger company. That's just going to be kind of the big companies in the space, Blez Cards, a lot of these huge companies, they're not going anywhere. They're going to be fine. They'll just figure out how to adapt and comply with whatever rules come. But these are needed things. So what could be a sign that the Wild West is being cleaned up a little bit? Why is this happening? And I think it just goes back to what we've talked about, whether it's Michael Rubin run Fanatics or Nat Turner run PSA. Some of these larger companies, eBay, there's a bunch of large companies that have a lot of money. They've got a lot of focus in this space. And they want to make sure that everybody that's working with them is in compliance. When you look at Michael Rubin Fanatics, he has a sports betting arm as well, underneath the Fanatics umbrella. So he's not new. Those folks are not new. They understand how the gaming laws work and making sure that they're complying. They're going to make sure that they're in compliance with whatever rules, laws come out on it, or if there's more kind of self-regulation happening, they're going to be ahead of it, I believe. Remember that Fanatics has all the licenses and the trust from the league. So you don't want to lose your licenses because you've got some platform that's doing some wacky thing, or you've got somebody, some rogue thing happening over there. They've really intertwined the athletes, the player associations, the teams in on all this stuff now. So it's going to get cleaned up for the better. I think this is a positive. It's going to be harder to get into this space. If you want to be a breaker, if you want to be a repacker or whatever, it is certainly going to be harder to get in. There's going to be more barriers to entry, and I think more are coming. I think there's going to be more and more of this as we move forward. I'm not a big regulation guy, but at the end of it all, I think it's good that consumers will know what they're buying into. I think we still have a little ways to go, but what we're going to have here over the next couple of years is going to be smarter consumers, smarter hobbyists, smarter collectors that know exactly what they're getting into, or more of what they're getting into with breaks, repacks, gambling products, razzes, for crying out loud. They're going to have more of an idea of what this is. What we've had over the last few years with a lot of these products is, and how a lot of these companies have been able to grow and expand, is because they need new people to come in who don't necessarily know what they're getting into. They need new people. I don't want to say suckers, because that's not a nice way to put it, but it's just new people coming in to try out these products, and the marketing's been good and there's been demand there. But what we have seen is a lot of those folks, they just don't stick around. And it's not even necessarily that some of the breakers, the repackers, they're not good at what they do. They're not good salesmen, saleswomen, whatever. But you also have to understand, if you're gambling dollar, if you're a person that is a gambler, if you're not getting any sort of entertainment, enjoyment out of what that is, if there's real enjoyment, entertainment out of it, then that's great. But a lot of people are going to try out the gambling arm of sports cards, and they're going to go, you know what? I just like sports betting better. They might get in for 6 months and they're like, this is kind of cool. But then they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go back to Vegas. I'm going to go back to the casino, or I'm going to go back to sports betting, or I'm going to do something different. You know, your gambling dollar, your opportunity cost with your gambling dollar, I guess. You know, people are going to be picky about it. They're going to come and go, I'm sure, just like people do when they're buying and selling, collecting sports cards. You know, they might be in it for 6 months, then they're out of it for a couple of years, and they come back in. You know, and it's no different with people that are getting in on breaks or repacks and that sort of thing. So this is going to be interesting to watch. I think a cleaned up industry is a good thing for the overall hobby, but it is going to change. I think this is just the first part of it. We'll have to see. Again, I'm just speculating here. I don't have any sort of inside information, but I do talk to guys like Brian Gray who are in this or in on repacks. I talk to a lot of folks in the industry, and we'll be keeping in touch. Those 20-minute with episodes where we're talking with industry folks. We'll be able to stay on top of this as all of this develops here in the years to come. Friends, have an amazing day ahead. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.